The New York Jets are making moves with their running backs, and also Aaron Rodgers has revealed the truth on his future plans to play for the rest of the season, and this obviously will have a huge implication on how the Jets move throughout the rest of the season and into the offseason. So what's up, guys? Welcome back to Jets Digest. It's Chris and Matt here, and we're going to jump right into the video, as we always do. And guys, make sure to subscribe. 18.5% of people watching this are subscribed right now. We're still in the 1000s and we're trying to get that up, so let's please subscribe to the channel if you like the content, and also leave a comment down below on your thoughts about Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets backfield play this season. But let's jump into it before I beat Matt with a rake because we're not at 20%. Now, as we know, the Jets signed running back Matt. I forgot how to pronounce his name, so you're going to take over.
Quinnen Williams got signed to the active roster from the practice squad. He's an all-pro kick returner. We saw him against the Seahawks. One of his first ever returns, took it all the way to the end zone. So that was pretty cool to see. Unfortunately, they cut Israel Abanikanda, the ex-fifth-round pick out of Pittsburgh. This one hurts me because I really liked Izzy. He is like 5'10", but he's still over 210 pounds. So he's a really sturdily built guy. And these running backs, once their BMI is above 30, that's like the sweet spot. Those are the guys that their bodies hold up well, and you can put a lot of carries on them on the football field. So Izzy, he had the height, the weight, and he was also a speedy guy too. But unfortunately, he has trouble seeing running lanes, reading blockers correctly, and that led the New York Jets to cutting him. And unfortunately, today, 2 hours ago, the 49ers claimed Izzy Abanikanda off of waivers. They, of course, lost against the Buffalo Bills. They lost Jordan Mason, and they lost Christian McCaffrey for the next 4 games at least. So Izzy Abanikanda is actually the second running back behind rookie from Louisville, Isaac Guerendo. So honestly, it sucks that it's not with the Jets, but the Jets have a really good running back room. So I'm excited to see Izzy play in the NFL in any capacity, even if it's not with the New York Jets. So I'm glad he's going to be able to get a shot, even if it's with another team.
Yeah, I mean, seeing Nwangu go out there and get that kick return was great. I mean, the Jets looked like they were going to win that game against the Seahawks for a while, but they didn't, and obviously they're now eliminated. So now it's time to get real weird with it.
They're not eliminated yet. They, according to someone on Twitter who I definitely trust, they have this week against the Dolphins, and if they win their first game in Miami since 2014, then they will. If they lose again since 2014, they'll be eliminated. If they win, they're not eliminated, but we'll see.
What if the Bills just lose the rest of their games and the Jets win all of theirs?
Funny, the Bills actually already clinched the playoffs. Clinched the division. Yeah.
Oh wait, we still have a video to do. Sorry, I was actually about to quit. I was actually about to quit as just the world sees the green screen go away for a second into my bedroom. But look, here's the deal. Obviously, it's kind of sucks losing Izzy. He looked good a little bit whenever we'd see glimpses, but it does feel like now that he's on a different team, he's just going to go for 100 rushing yards, as Rich
I mean, I hope that he's been playing in the preseason, which is the only time we've been able to see him. He's been a healthy scratch his entire career with the Jets, which has been the last 2 years. And 2023 was a really good class for running backs. And I thought we could have had something in the 5th round because Israel Abanikanda was a sleeper for me going into the draft. And I was excited that we got him on the Jets, but hey, it just didn't work out. It doesn't always work out. The Jets like to take a lot of shots with running backs on day 3, so they're going to have a lot of guys on the depth chart. And looks like the team decided that Isaiah Davis and Braylon Allen were better. And now Quinnen Williams is not going to be a running back, but he's going to be returning the kickoffs. So he took Izzy's spot. So unfortunately, we do have to say goodbye to our friend here, Chris. Oh, well, but he's from Brooklyn, which makes it hurt more. He's he was born right here, got to play for the team they supported as a kid, so that makes it hurt a little bit more. But we'll see. I'm sure once he is handed off the football in a real game, all those thoughts will go away, and he'll be excited to actually be able to play now.
I agree. And now, on top of that, as Rich Cimini said, as I also mentioned, with Izzy being claimed off waivers by the 49ers, it means he's got a 100-yard rushing game coming up in the near future. Now, I mean, looking at the Jets running back situation, it's good. I mean, Braylon Allen looks awesome. Breece Hall obviously has not been the same guy we saw in his rookie season. It doesn't mean he's bad, though. I'm not like a huge, like, doomer on Breece Hall or anything, but the Jets running back room does look good, and at the end of the day, losing Abinicon is not going to really change much for the Jets.
I mean, like I said, I like the player, but he's been a healthy scratch for every single game so far this season. So you could argue that nothing will change about the Jets running back room.
That's very fair. But also, we have other news, Matt. There's more stuff to talk about. And that is the fact that Aaron Rodgers went on to the Pat McAfee show, as he does every Tuesday, and said his goal for after his 2023 Achilles surgery was to come back and play every single game this season. He wants to finish the season out the right way. So it sounds like he'll be staying in the lineup, or he wants to stay in the lineup, no matter how bad the season gets. Look, Aaron Rodgers says a lot of weird things pretty often. Shout out to Rodgers for really, really sticking it out with this just absolute bummer that is the Jets.
Hey, so we've given Aaron Rodgers a lot of, we've talked a lot about him saying things after games that have been really annoying and not what we want to hear. But this is kind of different because this is something that, is actually normal to say. He got injured and was really old. So he put his head down, he put his work in, and he said, my goal is I want to play every single game next year and prove all these doubters wrong. All these naysayers who say I can't come back and play really well. I'm going to play the whole season. The thing is, we're going to have to see if the Jets want him to play the whole season because they have a younger guy on the team, Adrian Martinez, the MVP of the UFL. He is someone who the Jets could potentially see if there's a future for him. But right now he's stuck behind Tyrod Taylor, and we all know what Tyrod Taylor is, and he is not a franchise quarterback. So if Adrian Martinez is stuck behind Tyrod Taylor, that gives us plenty of reason to believe that Adrian Martinez is not the future, which would mean that Aaron Rodgers is going to get the chance, barring injury, to finish out the season as a New York Jets starting quarterback and fulfill his goal for the season. So Jeff Ulbrich, you have to imagine also, Jeff Ulbrich has a decision which quarterback to start, of course. But Woody Johnson, he likes to stick his fingers into the team, and he wants to see things change just for the sake of change, whether it's a good idea or not. So you have to imagine there's a high likelihood that Woody Johnson goes to Jeff Ulbrich and says, this isn't working, start a different quarterback. Now, maybe his idea is to tank. What?
He already tried to do that.
Yeah, he did. But apparently he didn't do that, and that's just conjecture, according to some people. But is something right up the alley of what Woody Johnson's done over and over and over again. It's why the Jets can't succeed. Whenever they have anything good going on, Woody Johnson steps up and ruins it all. Every single time, it looks like they're about to figure something out. He just comes in, shakes everything up, and everyone has to adjust again. And it's what has doomed this team for the last 14 years, and was why they can't get anything. There's no cohesion with the team. Anytime that we start building towards something, Woody Johnson pretty much moves the goalposts of what people are trying to accomplish with the team, and they're making it too hard. Sometimes you just got to let the team gel with each other. You just got to let the dust settle, and that's something that Woody Johnson doesn't do, which is why the team cannot be successful while he's the owner, which is why Jets fans are at every single game chanting sell the team. Every single Instagram post, they're in the comment section saying sell the team, sell the team, sell the team, which is correct. Man, oh man, I don't understand how he hasn't determined already that making rash, harsh, quick decisions is not the answer. I don't know what is going to need to happen. I don't know how much worse can get from this season and what needs to happen for Woody Johnson to realize that he's the problem and he needs to change the way that he does things to make the Jets be able to have a meaningful change in the franchise to put out a better product out onto the field.
Well, Matt, funny you mentioned ownership, because Aaron Rodgers shared his thoughts on the importance of ownership showing public support for the GM and the head coach. And the Jets weren't mentioned in this context, but he said to change a culture, to change a program, it takes time and it takes patience. A lot of ownership around the league doesn't have the patience to let that thing go through. There was no follow-up question specific to the Jets, who fired Saleh with a 2-3 record. Obviously, they've won one game since against the Houston Texans on Thursday Night Football. For a second, it looked like the Jets were back. They were not back, in fact. Rodgers did mention the Lions, noting how Dan Campbell and co. turned it around once they got a strong vote of confidence from the ownership. So it's pretty interesting timing for you to bring that up.
Dan Campbell, his first 2 years as a head coach, looked really, really, really bad. Everyone thought he was going to get fired. And then they turned it around. Now they're looking like the best team in football. Zach Taylor with the Cincinnati Bengals. His first year as a head coach was the year where they earned Joe Burrow. They were like 1-15. Of course, the Jets give them their first win, and because that's just the Jets being the Jets, unfortunately. But Zach Taylor, awful year. They stick around with him. 2 years later, they're in the Super Bowl against the LA Rams. It's possible. Woody Johnson needs to trust the guy he hires to do their actual jobs. The GM, Joe Douglas, was not able to actually be the GM. Woody Johnson, Robert Saleh, was not able to actually coach the team. He never actually got a chance. They were 2-3. They brought in a ton of new pieces, and Robert Saleh was not actually given a chance to coach with them this season. Of course, the last 2 seasons, it didn't look very good, and I understand why Johnson was scared of the head coach and thought that maybe they need to make a change, but he has to realize that making the change midseason is waving the white flag, ending the season. So ending the season with only 5 games in was ridiculous, and he is apt. I can't call him a curse because a curse is something you can't feel or see or touch, and you can feel, see, and touch Woody Johnson. He's very, very real. Unlike curses, Woody Johnson is completely real. The Jets are not cursed. Woody Johnson is the problem. Gotta get rid of him.
I don't know about you, but I don't really want to touch Woody Johnson, Matt. That's up to you.
I didn't suggest it. I just said it was possible.
Well, we'll see. We'll see about that. But look, guys, I mean, I agree. I mean, I agree with you. I agree with Aaron Rodgers. I think he's absolutely right. I mean, the Jets, Aaron Rodgers, he has to be talking about the Jets in this context. I understand it's also a general thing, but he's thinking of the Jets. Everyone's thinking of the Jets. To change a culture, to change a program, it takes time and it takes patience, and a lot of ownership around the league doesn't have that. No, they don't. And Woody Johnson specifically does not have that. If he fired the coach 5 weeks in, as you mentioned, it's just life as a Jets fan, man. It just is what it is, and frankly, the New York Jets, all these quick fixes did not work. As someone who, I do Knicks Digest, I talk about it a lot. The Knicks for so long did this quick fix thing, and then they stopped, and now they're one of the best teams in the NBA. So you have to bite the bullet, do the rebuild, do it properly. I understand they've tried and they've failed at doing that, but when is a team tried a quick fix and won the friggin' Super Bowl? Like, if you want to call Brady to the Bucks a quick fix, I guess, but that's not exactly what that was. It's a completely different story. The Jets continually went for these quick fixes, and it went horribly. But I do want to know what you guys think down below. So like this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Have a great day, and go Jets!